Goat. The month of Tevet was formed, according to the Sefer Yetzirah, by means of the letter Ayin. Its nature is anger, its sign is the mountain goat, D, Capricorn, its organ is the liver. The name Tevet indicates a lack of abundance of good influence, as the letter Vav, which would turn the word into Tovat, abundant goodness, is missing. Nonetheless, the word Tevet does have a connotation of light, from the word Hatava, meaning preparation of the wick, referring to the light of Hanukkah, see Sefet Emet, Hanukkah. Tevet is one of the months that belong to the evil influence, so to speak, and its hidden powers, as mentioned in the Zohar, Volume 2, 12a, on the passage, Exodus, chapter 2, v2, she hid him for 3 months, referring to Moses. It was during Tevet that the siege that eventually led to the destruction of Jerusalem began. During the month of Tammuz, the walls of the city were breached, and during Av the temple was destroyed. Thus, those 3 months Tevet, Tammuz, and Av are said to be under evil influence. The element earth, associated with Tevet, symbolizes the sluggish power of materiality that predominates this month's influence. On the other hand, it is within the earth that the power of sustenance of life is contained. This parallels the influence of 85. Above the zodiac. The organ of the month, the liver, which is the source of fresh blood for the human body. According to the Ari, the months Tevet and Shavat correspond to the 2 eyes. The eyes are the most sensitive organs in terms of their ability to draw a person away from spirituality. The eye sees, and so the heart desires. During the 2 summer months, the eyes correspond to the months Tammuz and Av, and thus parallel the 2 winter months Tevet and Shavat. The natural attribute of Tammuz is vision, which is dependent on the eye. This is where evil finds its first base of influence. The sign for Tammuz, Sartan, crab, of Cancer, contains the word Sotan, hostility, together with the letter Resh, signifying motion and fluctuation. According to Nachmanides, Tevet's sign, the goat, is associated with evil. The heavenly body that influences Capricorn is Shabtai, Saturn. It etymologically symbolizes limitation and inactivity, Hashbata, and, thus, again leaves room for the destructive activity of the evil influence. In its positive aspect, Saturn symbolizes the power of deep understanding and contemplation associated with the Sabbath, the refraining from mundane activity in order to experience the transcendental. The negative expression of this sign is evidenced by its being a festive occasion for Christians when, in the course of history, much innocent Jewish blood was shed. Joseph Stalin, an extreme anti-Semite, was born under the sign of Capricorn, as was according to Christian tradition, the founder of Christianity. The tribe of this month is the tribe of Dan, symbolizing the power of severe judgment, Din. That is, it signifies the power of Esau, which judges the Jewish people harshly, for their having forsaken the Torah and its ways. In the desert encampments of the Jewish people, the tribe of Dan was in the north, from whence issue darkness and judgment, the place in the world where the sun is in hiding, so to speak. The north is also associated with the amassing of material wealth. It was from there, the Midrash explains, that the tribe of Dan received the 86. Tevet, Capricorn, goat. Gold, it contributed to the making of the golden calf. This is one of the meanings of the rabbinic proverb Herot Shisher Yatzbin, who wants wealth should hide himself. He who wants to attain wealth should face north. Astrology relates that people born under the sign of Capricorn are strongly drawn to the desire to amass material wealth. This tendency is expressed in the letter Ayin, the letter of this month, as well as in the right eye, the facial organ of the month, according to the Ari. The negative pseudological aspect of the eye is that it lends itself to impatient ambition, and this acts as a complement to the brazenness of the mountain goat Capricorn. The Hebrew word for mountain goat, diezim, is related to the word for the strength and fierceness, ezaz. On the Jewish path, during this month one ought to pay special attention to the spiritual function of sight, as in the context of the verse, Isaiah, chapter 40, v26. Lift your eyes on high and see, who created these. One should also note the correspondence of divine providence of the eye of God is inclined toward those in awe of him. Psalms, chapter 33, v18. According to Rabbi Zadok Hakahin, this form of service to the divine derives its connection to the month of Tevet because of the month's emotive attribute Rajez, anger, which has the same numerical value as the word Yira, fear, and awesome awareness. The This helps one to direct one's energy of fierce anger against one's inclination to do evil. The word rojes is also numerically equivalent to the word jevira, power, the first of the 6 sephirot of Yetzirah on the left side, to indicate the potential for rectifying this emotion in holiness. Evil uses this month's power to overcome the holiness of Israel. The salvation of the various negative attributes of Tevet can bring a person great spiritual attainments and increases one's ability to function in the world, because of the downfall of the power of Esau, the power of evil. This process is symbolically contained in the letter Ayin, 37:4. According to the Atayat D. Rabbi Akiva, Ayin symbolizes the power of Esau. Its crouched and bent form bespeaks the future downfall of Esau. This depends on the rectification of 87. Above the zodiac. The sense of sight contained in the eye, the Hebrew word for eye is ayin, so that it stays clear of the evil influence. Within the realm of holiness, the letter ayin, with its numerical value of 70, denotes the 70 faces of the Torah, i.e., its 70 means of interpretation. Those who humble themselves before God merit this multivarious understanding. Through it, one attains the power to subdue the evil influence of all the nations of the world. The power of the wisdom of the oral tradition became appreciated by the nation of Israel upon the downfall of the secular influence of Greek wisdom during Hanukkah, which extends into Tevet for 2 days. The light of Hanukkah is the hidden light, about which it is said, Psalms, chapter 31, v. 20, how abundant is your goodness which you have hidden for those who fear you. The preparation in Hebrew, hadava, for this light occurs during the month of Tevet, as indicated in its name. By means of the hidden light, one nullifies the darkness and gross materiality of the north. The Hebrew word for hidden in the above-mentioned verse is tsafin, related to the word for north, tsafin. According to Rabbeinu Bachaya, the nation associated with the sign of Capricorn is the Philistine nation. For this Reah's son Samson, from the tribe of Dan, gave his Philistine wife a goat as a gift. He wanted to purify the evil influence of the Philistine at the root. The Philistines were always a problem for the Jewish people, and, as is stated in the books of Joshua and Judges, when Israel did evil in God's eyes, they were delivered into the hands of the Philistines. The power of stern judgment within the Philistines is indicated in the numerical value of their name 860, which is 10 times the divine name Elikim, 86, the name that denotes judgment. Corresponding to this stands the tribe of Dan, at its head Samson, who wanted to put an end to their evil influence. However, the time was not yet ripe, for Israel had not yet achieved a high enough spiritual level. Perhaps the problems that Israel currently has with the Palestinians are a carryover of the previous problems with the Philistines. Sid is interesting. 88. Tevet Capricorn, goat. To note that the PLO was founded 30 years ago, during the month whose sign is Capricorn. The solution to this problem is assured only by the return of the nation of Israel to walk in the ways of God and observe the Torah. Thereby, the negative influence of Capricorn will be transformed to the realm of holiness. According to astrology, the sign of Capricorn influences both the Jewish and the Hindu nations. However, this negative influence extends to the Jews only if they fail to follow the ways of the Torah. Israel is above the constellations, since through devotional prayer and study it has the power to annul the power of the constellations. During the month of Tevet, one ought to arouse within his heart intense fear and awe of God. Pre-Tzaddik, Genesis, Shivat says that this power derives from Joseph, who said, I fear the Lord, Elikim, and lest I sin to Elikim. The influence of Joseph is strongly felt during the month of Tevet, for on the Sabbaths of this month we read in the Torah the end of the story of Joseph's sojourn in Egypt. The intense insecurity that Joseph must have felt at that time is, according to astrology, one of the character traits of the Capricorn, who is always looking for nurturance from people around him. The real nurturance is derived by following the spiritual path. In Jewish practice, during the months of Tevet and Shavat, we read the first 8 portions of the book of Exodus, abbreviated Shavavim Tat, for Shemo, Vera, Bo, Beshalach, Yitro, Mispatim, Teruma, and Tetzaveh. According to Kabbalah, this time is auspicious for correcting the sins of the covenant and adultery. The difficult time of Tevet is mirrored in the Torah portions of the week, read on Shabbat, that discuss Israel's exile in Egypt and the tribulations suffered there. The power of Joseph the righteous, who corresponds on the side of holiness to the evil power of Esau, is strongly aroused during this time. The drawing of the influence of Sagittarius, the bow, Keshet, into Capricorn, through the power of Joseph, is effected. 89. Above the zodiac. During the holiday of Hanukkah, whose days extend into Tevet, it is also noted in the symbol of Greece, the goat, as God said to Abraham at the covenant of the halved sacrifices, and as is noted in the prophecies of Daniel, that the subjugation of Israel to Greece is symbolized by the mountain goat. It was the power of the brazenness, as it related to the word easy, goat, of evil that was revealed when the Greeks forced the sages of Israel to translate the Torah into the Greek language during the month of Tevet. This translation aroused great spiritual darkness for the Jewish people and was likened to the desecration of the golden calf. The darkness of Greece was extinguished by the light of Hanukkah through the holy power of Joseph. The goat of the different kinds of cattle is the first to advance when taken to pasture, as the Talmud states. Why do the goats always lead the other herds of animals? Because this is the process of creation. First there was darkness, then there was light. This process also revealed itself in history, when first the Greeks wanted to bring us to spiritual darkness, and then came the light of Hanukkah, the light of the Torah. This nature of the goat to try to be first is also a part of the Capricorn character. Yet brazenness on the part of holiness overcomes brazenness on the part of impurity. This month obligates a person to remove all of the stumbling blocks in his path to the spiritual life. The root of these stumbling blocks lies in the desecration of the mark of the covenant. The great holiness available to the Capricorn is indicated in the numerical value of the word D, goat, L, 17, the same as the numerical value of the word Tav, goodness, and the same as the numerical value of the divine name Yod He, Vav He. The Yod is given the value of 1 instead of 10, by means of the Aleph, Yod, Kaf, 1, 10, 100 permutation. However, in its negative connotation it contains the same numerical value as the word Zvav, flying insect, which, according to Kabbalah, is associated with the impure manifestation of the level of Yesod, the sign of the covenant. Goodness is the pure level of Yesod, and the symbol of the Yesod insect is its. 90. Tevet Capricorn, goat. Opposite, see Zohar, 128b, and Kehilat Yaakov on Zvav. Zvav is the name of one of the fortified Philistine cities, named after their god of destruction. It is the negative manifestation of the power of Capricorn that wants to wound the holiness of Israel. This is indicated in the combination of letters that form the word Peleshet, NTTH, L, Shefel Tav, N, LW, the lowly base Dcrs. Tav, according to the Atayat D. Rabbi Akiva, symbolizes Tava, desire. The evil of the Philistines is associated with Lilith, in the realm of desire. Bir Moshe on 1 Samuel 320. Delilah, whom Samson wanted to subdue, is a manifestation of that power. See the Ari Sefer Halakudim on Judges. Lilith is the feminine manifestation of evil. This is clear from the name Delilah Al, which in the A, Y, K, D, M, T permutation forms the name Lilith N. Because of the low spiritual level of Israel during that time, instead of Samson subduing Delilah, she succeeded in temporarily subjugating him. The month of Tevet is set aside for subduing one's inclination in that direction, which is associated with the Philistines and the negative side of Capricorn. According to the Midrash Tanhuma, Deuteronomy, Haz Enu, the names of the astrological signs teach us about the process of the opening of the soul. The bow, Sagittarius, symbolizes the rising of the soul from hell like an arrow sprung from above, as it is written in Zechariah, chapter 9, v. 13, "For I have shot Judah like from a bow." This prophecy refers to the war against the Greeks that preceded Hanukkah. From that time on, Israel was made agile like a mountain goat who darts swiftly from rock to rock. See Shem Mishmuel, Rosh Chodesh. Tevet, Hanukkah. The breaking forth of holiness during Hanukkah attains its stabilization during Tevet, the time for Hadava, self-betterment in preparation for illumination. This process continues during the month of Shavat, whose letter is the Tzadi, symbolizing righteousness. The Ari associates Shavat with the eyes as well. It symbolizes the spiritual completeness of the eyes, as in the verse, Psalms, chapter 34, v. 16, the eyes of God are inclined. 91. Above the zodiac. Toward the righteous. According to the Kedushat Levi, the Let-Ter Samech of Kislev, Ayin of Tevet, and Tzadi of Shavat symbolize the process of stabilization of the eyes in order to ascertain righteousness. Samech, stabilization, stands for Sti Mat Ayin Lyra, Bara, closing the eyes and refraining from seeing evil. Ayin, I, Tzadi, righteousness. This process is completed during the weeks of Shavavim Tat, the first 8 portions of Exodus. The main ingredient of the rectification is the oral tradition. This process began with Moses in the desert during the 40th year, on the first day of the month of Shavat, when he began Mishnah Torah, the review of the Torah, Deuteronomy, which contains the roots of the oral tradition. The sign of the Keshet, bow, symbolizing great strides in holiness, is composed of letters in the hundreds position. D. Capricorn, symbolizing contraction, and stabilization, is composed of single letters. The word D is also related to the word Eid, binding together. Tevet and its sign, Capricorn, symbolize many negative traits in astrology. Those born under its influence have a tendency toward depression, seclusion, and loneliness. They feel little satisfaction and are angry at unfavorable circumstances, the unfavorable results of their actions. These traits, derived from the negative symbols of this month, are intended to draw a person away from the mundane, to rectify his soul and achieve satisfaction in the realm of the spiritual, as discussed earlier. The letters of the word D can be rearranged to form the word Jid, phallus, indicating the time of rectification. The letter Yod in the word Gimel, Yod, Dale, symbolizes the wisdom of the brain that produces the seed. It is placed between the Gimel and the Daleth to indicate the source of energy being drawn forth and being imparted. Gomel Dali gives to the poor. The misuse of the Jid changes it into D, where the Yod is removed from its rightful place. Placing the Yod outside, instead of its being inside, attracts evil. The word Gdi, if permuted in the Aleph, Tav, Beth, Shin, first letter changing with the last letter, second with second to last, etc. 92. Tevet, Capricorn, Goat. Spells carry nocturnal pollution, where the Yod is again on the outside. Thus, the numerical value of D, 17, which is the same as Tav, goodness, a symbol of the righteous Yesod, indicates the internalization of the Yod, the rectification of the sign of the covenant. The Gdi, Capricorn energy, if used in the way of Torah, can bring goodness, but if not channeled properly, it leads to evil. This evil befell us as a result of the translation of the Torah into Greek, which brought on, many years later, the breaching of the walls of Jerusalem and the eventual destruction of the Holy Temple, which occurred during the summer month that corresponds to the month of Tevet, the month of Tammuz, whose sign is Sartan, Cancer. The symbol of purity of Yesod is the Tzadi, whose energy brought about the victory of Hanukkah, and which rectifies the evil of Tevet. Joseph, the personification of Yesod, is the holy correspondent to Esau, and does war with him. See Siddur Beth Yaakov of Rabbi Yaakov Emdim on Tevet. Joseph was born during Tammuz, Cancer. His relation to Keshet, Sagittarius IUS, is due, therefore, to lunar or planetary conjunctions. During Tammuz, which bodes evil, and which also corresponds to the eyes, was born Joseph, who overcomes the sensual temptations of sight that lead to adultery. The power to overcome this temptation is hidden in the souls of Israel, who are also called the reminiscent of Joseph. Its exercise leads to the downfall of evil, and thereby the unhappy occasion that brought the days of fasting during Tevet and Tammuz will be turned to days of joy. 93.